Hi, my name is Maria Usbeck. I'm a musician. I'm based here in New York. Welcome to my studio. Today we're actually gonna get out of here. We're gonna try out to do some recordings in the outside world. So they're called field recordings. Basically, any sound that we find that might be interesting with different types of textures, different types of materials, we're going to record. You can use a handheld recorder or you can use your phone. I usually use my phone because I have it with me all the time, so it's just more convenient, more easy. And phones nowadays actually do have pretty decent audio quality, so it should be alright. So what we're looking for is just any kind of interesting sound, unusual sounds that will give a song a little bit more of an ambiance. That's kind of what I do with my music, and I really love it. And let's try that out. Then we're gonna bring in those sounds to the studio. We're gonna sample them, and we're gonna try to use them and add effects and play around with them a little bit. So yeah, let's get out of here. Sometimes you might want to use a stick or some kind of piece of metal or something, and you get louder and better results on certain textures. Stone is also a pretty cool material. Stone with metal in this case. If something's gonna ring out, remember to let it ring all the way before you stop recording. You can also film somebody else doing something. In this case, my dog crackling leaves. Or perhaps, look around your kitchen. You may find something like a bag of rice. That may sound like a shaker. Crunchy plastics, pretty cool. And unusual. Something that may bounce, perhaps a tiny pebble on any kind of texture. Sometimes I really do try to come up with sounds from basically anything. Food can be quite useful. Something like a chip. That you can crush. Can have a pretty cool sound as well. Also maybe something like a salt shaker or pepper shaker. And again, try to get those one hits, so you can just sample that. Also make sure they're closed, because you don't want to spill salt or pepper. Now we're going to try metal with glass. Just a little sharper. And like I said, it's important to let it ring out so you get the whole clip. Water can be also an interesting sound to record. I have recorded the ocean quite a bit for my first record. So let's try this out, see how this faucet may sound. Okay, so now we're back at the studio. As you can see, I'm using a software that is called Ableton. There's other ones that you can utilize. There is GarageBand, which I believe has a free version, and it comes with any Mac computer. I use Ableton for the most part. I really like it, and it's kind of what I learned to use, but originally when I started making music, I was using GarageBand. So as you can see, I have set up all of our samples here. We have the chip, we have the leaves, we've got the pebble, sea salt, the stick against the tree, the stone with the metal, the caution tape, and the trash can. So what we're going to do is we've created a drum rack here in Ableton, which will let us sample all the different sounds into it, and then I've set it up so I have it triggered on my keyboard. Hold on, let me turn it up a little bit so you can hear it well. So you see that's the pebble, that's the leaves, that's the sea salt. That does sound like a shaker, it's pretty cool. That's the stick. So why it's so important to try to get samples with absolute silence, because as you can hear here in the background we have a little bit of noise, but there's ways to sometimes clean that up as well. Same with this one, is the stone. You can hear the wind in the background. Today was a windy day. And this is the caution tape. And our trash can lid, which does kind of sound like a keg. So we can basically start making a little bit of a beat. Cool, so now we're going to start exploring how maybe we can make these sound a little bit more interesting. We're going to use reverb for the chips. Reverb is an effect that sort of echoes a little bit the sound, hence reverberation. So let's see what this sounds like. Pretty cool, right? So this was the chip without it. This is the chip with it. Now let's take a look at that trash can lid. So maybe this could be more of like a kick. So the trash can without any effects. The trash can with a little bit of reverb again. Pretty cool, right? So what we're gonna do is we're creating a tiny beat where we're gonna throw in these samples. Okay, so after bringing in our samples into our drum rack, I created a bit of a loop. So it's a beat that is a loop. Let's take a listen to that real quick. It's a bit different, but kind of cool to use the samples and field recordings to do something like this. And that's the idea. You can basically use them for anything, either to create some kind of loops, sound sort of situation, or you can just layer them on top, a bit more of a textual texture. So what we're gonna do is, we have the leaves here that I don't think we used yet. Let's bring in a different kind of audio effect. We got chorus, which is also kind of cool. Let's listen to what that would sound like. Oops, over here. It's not that exciting, so let's get rid of that chorus and let's add. Alright, let's add one of these echo ones that are pretty cool. As you can see, I also added a synth right here, so there's a few chords going on. It's just the same chord repeated 4 times with our beat loop. So you can add real instruments or software instruments, which are the ones that come with different programs like Ableton, and you can layer that as well with your samples. So we've got the samples for the beat right now, the software synth, and the leaves with a bit of a crazy effect. And we can loop that as well. Just to see what that would sound like. Cool, so that's what I'm gonna cover for today. That's basically how to record field recordings, how to sample them, how to create a beat with them, or how to use them as more of like a ambiance or texture layered on top of a synth, and perhaps a beat. So yeah, just get exploring. If you can use a phone to record certain sounds that you might find interesting, go for it. I always do it, and I keep them with me, so just in case, you know, one day I'll flip through them and be like, oh, that was a crazy sounding bird, let's use that for this song, and that makes sense. So I hope you enjoy this, I guess, tutorial technically. Thank you so much.